all negative self-talk. Just like once and for all, drop it and walk away from it. And so for anyone who has like any negative self-talk that they would love to heal, just what would you be telling yourself if the negative self-talk were not present?
I remember when I first got into yoga heavily, not just practice, but heavy. And one of the biggest questions from both sides was, "You're a pastor, can you do yoga?" And it wasn't awkward because I needed the vibe or the worldview that you can be this, but you can't be that was a bit offset. And I would go to contemplative retreats and speak and just have such angst, or people would have so many questions about the journey. Why can you still do that and believe this? And I was with that for years. And then when I did the meditation certification with the Tropa Foundation, all made sense that this whole journey was my personal journey. And it was all necessary. It was necessary for me to go through what I had to go through as a preacher pastor. Necessary I had to go through the yoga journey, and it blended perfectly when I learned the true impact of meditation. In order to really be successful, you have to know who you are. And who you are is like your title, who you are is like the business that you run, who you are is not the preacher, the yogi. Who you are is truly live within you. And if you're listening today, this conversation is for you because we all need to, as our book, which is coming out, is to really awaken our true I am selves. My name is Noah Tillman. This is Walking Victim Podcast. We sit at the feet of the masters and we have conversations to evolve lives. Today's master is going to be talking to us about yoga and why the practice is important, or why you should consider adding those particular practices to your life. How are you, Swami? Thanks so much for joining us.
Naran, it's an amazing joy to talk with you. Thank you for your warm welcome and greetings to the listeners.
All right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And if you're listening, this would you're going to get away from our conversation. We're going to give you some things that you can do to help you calm down because we're living in a society, the news, everything is meant to heighten our angst. So we'll show you how you can calm down, but we're also going to challenge you to consider taking up this wonderful practice. Swami.
So, thank you. One of the things I would say to the listeners is that everyone has access to peace because peace is part of our true nature. And so, whatever our connection to peace is, like you mentioned, you're a pastor. So, if connecting with scripture, like it could be connecting with scripture from the Christian tradition, but also if the listener is a person who likes Buddhist teachings, you could connect with Buddhist scriptures. If you're a person who likes yogic teachings, you could connect with the Yoga Sutras or the Bhagavad Gita. And that's a really wonderful way to just drink deep of this energy of divine peace, breathing into the heart. And so this is the thing anyone can do. Like before you get out of bed in the morning, if you just breathe into your heart and you connect with peace, and you say that only peace is going to have power in my heart today. And then you genuinely live in that energy of peace. Peace will guide you through the day. It'll walk with you step by step, moment by moment through the day.
We have so many people when they wake up, they say, today's going to be a long day. Today's going to, and I know this may sound simple to say only peace will guide me, but people just won't do it.
It feels so much better. So that's the kind of challenge or invitation that I would give to any listener is just try it. Put it to the test. So my teacher was Swami Shankarananda, and he consecrated me as a Swami and also actually as a minister. So we can trade notes. You and I can trade notes about that. But so it just feels so much better. Put it to the test. Don't take anybody's word for it, but just try it tomorrow morning. And actually, like right now, whenever you're listening to this, breathe into your heart and just say, peace feels better than anxiety. And so I'm going to choose peace in my heart. Peace feels better than stress. Peace feels better than worry. Peace feels better than fear. And so when I'm coming into contact with the energy of my heart, that's what you were talking about, my true self, the I am within each of us. And I agree, it's not encapsulated by any name or any role or any relationship. It's always with us. No one can give it to us, no one can take it away from us. And then when we're in contact with that within ourselves, we're able to recognize the light is in the heart of all beings. So we're able to exist in kindness and wisdom and strength and skill and courage right in the midst of the world, in the midst of our daily lives.
These practices for thought leaders or persons that run high pace executive work, or they're doing so much and they can't really find the time to center or to stay grounded, or they're being led by their title or led by their things that they do. What are some practical things that you should have to consider about coming down, about being able to show up better in those areas if they were to do some of the tools and things that you train others to do?
So, this is a really great question, and I want to just congratulate and thank everybody who is living such a high-paced life because I think maybe every listener is. And I would just give feedback. So, I'm at Awake Yoga Meditation Center in Baltimore, and we teach yoga philosophy and meditation. And we have CEOs, we have founders of businesses, we have surgeons, we have attorneys, we have doctors, and we have like high powered people. And what they very consistently say is that if I take however long it is in the morning, it could be 5 minutes just to be centered, to be grounded, to feel my feet on the earth, to watch the sunrise, however you choose to connect with that piece, I more than get that time back over the course of the day. And this is actually demonstrated by neuroscience. And so, for listeners who like scientific confirmation of this, neuroscience tells us that when we center and ground ourselves, what happens is we access the parts of the brain that are creative, that give us long term perspective, that give us this expanded awareness of what is possible. Whereas if we are just super stressed and super focused, and I want to just thank everybody who is living a high pressure, high function job because a lot of us are doing that. But if we're only focusing on the stress, it's actually cutting us off from part of our own brain, which could help us connect with other options, other possibilities. And so neuroscience helps us map like which part of the brain am I coming from. And so for anyone to just quietly reflect, if I feel like I'm having a hard time sleeping, if I feel like I'm having a hard time being fully present and connecting in my relationships, if I have a hard time feeling like I'm being kind and patient with myself or with my kids or my partner or my spouse or my supervisors or my investors, my board, whoever it is that I'm having a hard time being patient and present with, that's an indicator that it would behoove me, it would benefit me to connect with my parasympathetic nervous system. It's just a signal. My sympathetic nervous system is way activated, which is perfect. It's perfect for me to have that ability to go into overdrive, but it's also a vital part of the way our bodies are built and the way our minds are built, that we have the ability to slow down and to integrate and to bring balance and poise. And that's where the body is able to heal. That's where the body is able to repair. And that's where we're able to be in this state of, I'll just call it like, it's awe and it's wonder. And it's like, it's magic to look at the tree outside of your window or like the sunrise or the sunset or to your child's smile, right? And you're just like very present when you connect with the parasympathetic nervous system, which is also a vital part of being here and living in fullness, like loving in fullness, achieving and accomplishing all that we love to achieve and accomplish, but doing it from this place of peace and this place of poise within ourselves.
We look at even the simple exercise that you said, waking up in the morning and just saying today's piece, right? We're pumped in the subconscious mind wants to give us the desire, right? But it's the same way if we prompt the subconscious mind and say, today's going to be a horrible day, or today's going to be long day. How 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 much time from the philosophical part do you put in helping people relanguage their self-talk, to
Yeah,
remodel their self-talk? Why is that important?
it's so important. And so I'll actually draw on neuroscience here. Like, neuroscience gives this evidence that if I engage in negative self-talk, that creates the same response in my physiology as if I'm facing a tiger. I'm not making this up. It creates the same response in my body as if I am in physical danger. And so it's like I commit to love myself so much and be kind to myself so much that I'm going to resolve to drop all negative self-talk. Just like once and for all, drop it and walk away from it. And so, for anyone who has like any negative self-talk that they would love to heal, just what would you be telling yourself if the negative self-talk were not present? And so, even just something like, I'm competent, or I've got this. I know how to do this. I've done this before. Or if you want to connect with inspiration, the divine can do this through me. The light can do this through me. Whatever your word for it is for each listener, God can do this through me. My higher self can do this through me. So frequently, humans have to do what seems impossible from a human perspective. And so in those moments, to be able to reach to what's larger than your human self.
What's amazing in the time with the emergence of neuroscience is really coming forth with all of this technology. We have the skills now to be able to really see the effect that the work has on the brain, and not just the outcome. Because usually before when a person finish praying and meditating, it's I feel good, right? But don't know how to really explain. Now we're taking to the steps where we can measure the effects on the brain, what part of the brain is being affected, what part of the body is being healed. And but on the flip side of it, because it's neuroscience and same benefits that one would get in a religious experience, right? And is affecting the same part of the brain. But now it's more accessible to more people because we can, if I just said, I'm coming in the name of Jesus, and I didn't have all other hats or all the other language and modalities that I can really draw from. Some person rejected because I'm maybe coming to as a religious fanatic, and I made this right. I can't use this, but I can just make the language not denouncing my faith. For those of you listening, saying, "Oh, look, saying he's denouncing his faith." No, I'm not denouncing my faith, but I'm giving tools to people, regardless of where they are in their life, that will help them draw from something that is so vast and deep. How do you see that as we see the language of neuroscience really becoming more mainstream?
Absolutely. I love what you said. And I was interested that you said when you first started doing yoga, it felt like you were working to reconcile. Like, I love Jesus and I love yoga. For me, it's not a contradiction because for me, Jesus is like a master teacher who helps all humans recognize the divine within themselves. And so for me, I totally love Jesus and respect and honor him, and completely love the yogic teachings as well. I completely love the teachings of Buddha as well. And I also understand and respect there are very distinct, specific traditions. And so I honor the traditions and I honor the cultures and the practices. But for me, it's for each listener, like, what helps you connect? And so if it helps you connect to know about neuroscience, And to know, basically, like one of the primary switches that we can choose to make is the fear-based part of our brain activates first. So someone comes into the room, before you even know who they are, the fear-based part of your brain comes online first, and it's like ready to startle. It's ready to react. So if you just pause and you breathe and you notice, what happens then is the higher part of your brain comes online. The prefrontal cortex part of your brain comes online. And that's the part of your brain that's able to practice discernment. It's able to practice, oh, that's my colleague. And it's able to, I think everyone has like a natural awareness. Like it's able to see, my colleague seems like they're feeling a lot of pressure about something right now, but it might have nothing to do with me. And so then you're able to be peaceful and patient and just give your colleague space to say whatever your colleague needs to say. Whereas if you come from the fear-based part of your brain and your colleague comes in and they're high stress and you're not practicing the discernment, you might be in this energy of reactivity because you basically feel their stress. And so you come at it from a stress response too. And then what happens is like stress just multiplies, right? And the room becomes more full of stress. Whereas if you just give yourself that brief little pause and you say, okay, I know my fear-based brain, that responds the fastest, but I'm going to pause and I'm going to allow my discernment to come online. And then I'm going to greet my colleague. And then you're going to have like more fun. And actually, your colleagues are going to have more fun interacting with you as well. And then you're able to just see, okay, my colleague's stressed because their kid is worried about this new grade level that they just started. And so it actually has nothing to do with me. And I can just be cheerful and peaceful with them. And then that gives the colleague like this space as well. Like they can let go of this stress that they're carrying because their kid just started fourth grade and is like getting used to the new teacher, getting used to the classmates. And so then you're able to have both of you are able to be very present with the work that you're doing, like for the daily tasks that you're taking care of in your workplace. And so that's just an example. But I would just say for every person to connect with what is your natural language. Like I think every human has natural languages that help you. So like for some listeners, it might be listening to music, or it might be dancing, or it might be watching the sunset, or being with your kids, just like quality face-to-face time, not screen time with your kids. And whatever those moments are that help you connect with, you feel like this is my true self. This is my pure heart. This is me just being present, being responsive, being helpful, being hopeful, allowing kindness to share through me, and just to trust that and really embrace that as like, this is one of my strengths. This is a spiritual strength. And the second that you do that, then you'll be able to bring spiritual strength into the other areas of your life. So for most humans, this is pretty universally true. We have some areas where we feel naturally connected, strong, and steady, and then other areas where we're like, okay, that's a growth area. So if you're trusting and you're allowing yourself to feel, okay, I've got this, like I feel capable and steady in this area, then you're able to bring that steadiness and build in the other areas that are growth areas for you.
I was talking to my oldest son the yesterday, matter, and re I was explaining to him about the subconscious mind. He really wanted to hear, but I was using it from a perspective. A lot of rappers in hip hop may not have lived the life that they talk about, but because they constantly sing the song and they rehearse, the subconscious mind doesn't know how to distinguish between falsehoods and truth. So subconscious mind now wants to actually act out or give them the mantra that they rehearse. So we see a lot of them get in trouble eventually or do stuff that's out of character because they gave their subconscious mind this loop to go now and if out. When you hear me say that, what am I on track or am I off kilter?
You're absolutely on track. So, one of the things that you're saying, I love that example. It's beautiful and brilliant. The things that we are, the thoughts that I am thinking, they're creative and they have power. And so, for any listener, just to know, like the thoughts that I am thinking, the words I am speaking, they have potency and they help create my experiences in time and space. So from the yogic perspective, our thoughts lay down tracks in our consciousness, right? And so whatever tracks I'm laying down in my consciousness, I'm gonna play that song. Like I'm gonna play that song. And that's, I think, exactly what you just said.
And because it's like the phenomenon of seeing someone and you really learn their background, and you say, come they're doing, but they're imagine you're every night you're singing a song, right?
Yeah.
You wrote a song and then you're singing the sub. And as a musician, sometimes if you got a song, it plays in your mind while you're sleeping. You're like just thinking about it. You constantly create. So now the mind is right. Not only are we creating this music, we have to create the events around it because the mind just doesn't know. We don't spend enough time with our mind. I just finished my book, Awakening the I Am, Internal Awakening in the AI Age, and I'm showing how engineering for AI, or now context engineering, I had to change a lot of the book over the week because it went from prompt engineering as the main base of AI to context engineering, which I think is better described the way we talk to ourselves. We talk to ourselves and we don't really realize the context in which we're talking. And we give these descriptors that sometimes are harmful. Let's talk about context engineering the subconscious mind. What are some of the things that you help people to put into context? And I'm going to give an example. I grew up poor. My mom never liked me. Like, how do we change that context and give the subconscious something to really feed off?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for such a thoughtful question and congratulations on your book. That's really
Thank
exciting. So, one of the things would be, and this is for every listener, like Naran, you just gave two examples for you, but for every listener, I would invite you to think about what are two examples for me. I have things that I grew up with, and it may be formed part of a script that if I don't look at it with love and awareness and kindness, then it'll just be on autoplay. So what are those scripts that are like on autoplay? But so for you to say something like to yourself, that's a reality. That was my childhood experience. So you're being honest with yourself. And then you're also saying to yourself something like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. That was just like part of the journey. And what do I want to create now? So now, if you're open to it, and I'll use the examples you gave, something like, I'm open to increasing financial wealth, if that's a thing that you would love to help create. And for the example that you gave, if you have so much love and respect to you, love and respect to your mom, but if you have a parent who isn't in contact with self-love, and so they're not able to share love, then that you would just acknowledge it. As an adult, you would say that was part of my experience. I'm not denying it, but also I can keep whatever I learned from that and I can choose to create what I want to create now. So for today, like now, you would maybe say something like, I love myself. I care for myself. I like myself. It's amazing being with myself. And I also send compassion to my mom who wasn't able to reflect that to me. And I send compassion to my childhood self that wasn't able to receive kindness through my mom. And I send the riches of life to my childhood self so that I take the wisdom that I gained, all the experiences, like all the challenges, and I keep that. And then I just ask, what do I want to create? And so I would like to create, I'm just using your cases as examples, but I would like to create a life built on love. And from my perspective, I'm just meeting you, but you've done that. It's amazing. And so from your adult self, you were, yes, I want to build a life built on love. How many different ways can I do that? And you were like, let's go. And you've done it in all these different venues and all these different formats. And so you're never going to stop with this. Like this is going to be, we're always growing, we're always expanding. And from my perspective, like the light within us, the heart, the soul, whatever your word for it is, the divine within us, as soon as we're like, yes, I want to build a life based on love, the divine is, let's go. And it works with our particular talents and skill sets, right? So if music is one of your talents, it'll work with that. Right? If speaking to people is one of your talents, it'll work with that. And for every listener, it's the same. It's like you have unique talents, you have unique skill sets. And so as soon as you say, I want to build a life based on love, it'll work through you using your voice, your hands, your heart, your mind, exactly where you are.
In the sense of pop culture, and I think so much this conversation was beautiful. But in the sense of pop culture, there was this huge misnomer for years that people write through pain. Oh, the best songs are birthed out of pain. So now a person simulates this thing and they find themselves loading and they tap into their creativity. And that can be dangerous because that's not the best songs that are written necessarily. You can find them to express yourself. But when we're going through dark periods, we slow down. The best craft is happening when we learn to slow down. Pain has a way of making us slow down, but these practices that we're discussing can help you slow down.
This is true. I absolutely love it. And I love another thing you're saying, maybe without using those exact words, but when I was listening to you, you're telling people you don't have to make stuff up. Be you. Please be you. And if you just allow yourself to be you, like from the heart, be you, that's where the song is going to be. Like that's where the true music is going to be. And I love what you said about slow down because it's actually already here. Like whatever the listener is looking for, it's with you and it loves you. That's the thing that I would say. It's just like each of us is so loved and so supported. And as soon as we allow ourselves to be still and we allow this natural flow of life energy, this natural flow of light, this natural flow of creativity, it's always with us, but we can't rush it. I agree with you as well. It's almost, I'm comfortable with the word grace. And my definition for grace is it's love, it's wisdom, and it's bigger than my human mind can understand. And grace has its own pace. And so
Yeah.
it's super important for me to listen to grace and to allow grace to move at its own pace, which sometimes, like, snap the finger and you're catapulted forward. But then sometimes you're right, it's like a slower pace, and that can be hard, I think, for our human selves, because our human selves are like, I've got this calendar, like, when's it gonna happen? Can I just hurry this on up?
Yeah, our human selves, we plant the seed and stand over the harvest, and we're just looking like nothing happened. We just walk away. So, I'll tell our audience where can they find you, and why are you going on these campaigns and talking about this wonderful goodness?
Yeah, so awakeyogameditation.org is our website, and we are a meditation center in Baltimore, Maryland. We welcome people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, all nations. You can be a brand new meditator, you can be someone who's meditated a lot, and you're welcome to join us in person. You're also welcome to join us on Zoom or on YouTube. We are donation based, and so everyone's welcome. And the reason why I do this is because it's so much fun. So I just love it. It makes me so happy to share joy. And I would also say, like, it's a deep honor to be able to just connect with the truth that dwells in all hearts. Like, from my perspective, there is a sacredness, there is a beauty, there is a magnificence that is present in every heart. And so it's just so fun because when we gather in community, it's easier to meditate. So we basically strengthen and support one another. And it's easier to get into that flow, into that stillness, into the quiet, easier to connect with whatever's highest and best within yourself. And then it's beautiful. It's miraculous. Like I get the joy and honor of seeing lives transform, lives change, and it just happens naturally. And it just happens because people do what we were talking about. Like they come into contact with the light within themselves and they say, this, I'm gonna live from this light within myself. And then it's amazing. Like their lives change, their world changes. And I would also say for the listeners that every time any one of us connects with the light within ourselves and we just say, I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace in this board meeting. I'm choosing peace in this family conversation. I'm choosing peace on the bus or on the train. I'm choosing peace online, wherever it is that we're choosing peace. we help share peace. There's a lot of people out there whose hearts are calling out, they're crying out for peace right now. And so, anytime any one of us chooses to come from the light in this way, you make yourself a beacon of light, but you also remind everyone else on the planet that's possible. Like, that's possible for them as well. And so, we uplift ourselves when we connect with what's real and true within all hearts, but we also remind everyone else just silently, like, this is possible. Anyone can do this. This is so much fun. And it's just like living in this divine energy, this divine joy from moment to moment, but right in the midst of our daily lives, right where we are.
There you have everybody. We sit you at the feet of the masters, and then we have conversations involve lives. Swami, we thank you. If you're listening, we don't ask you for cash apps, Venmos, or none of those things, and it's all good. If for those that do ask, we want to share these conversations so that you can better. But we do ask you for a few things. We want to actually support us. So you have a website, and the link to the website is in the description. That you also hit like, share, and subscribe so that these conversations can get to the ears of many more people, and they too can enjoy us in this join us in this walk in victory walk. Finally, go walk in victory.org book will be out soon. Join, leave a comment, let us know if by now you're listening and the book is out. Let us know what you think, and enjoy the rest of your day. Don't walk with your head down. Don't walk making excuses. You're part of the Walk in Victory family, and together we walk in victory. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.